spiritual leaders. Rufai, I'd like for you to touch on this one. Meanwhile, a coalition of Catholic priests under the Charismatic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria has appealed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to declare a state of emergency in Benue State following the killing of 43 people in Gewa West and Apa local government areas. The President General of the coalition, Leonard Kawas, during a press conference on Wednesday, denounced the violence, warning that the ongoing bloodshed and displacement have reached catastrophic levels. Let's take a look.
Refugee camps are swelling, internally displaced people are multiplying. And we are saying to our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that the time for people to be playing politics with the lives of Nigerians is over. Therefore, if Mr. President could declare a state of emergency in Rivers State that had less crisis, what is stopping Mr. President from declaring a state of emergency in a place like Benue and a few other states that are already at war?
Well, all right. Speaking about spiritual leaders, speaking truth to power, your thoughts on the bishop right there?
This is, with due respect, this is speaking rubbish to power, with due respect to the bishop. This is speaking absolute bunkum to power. A bishop endorsing a constitutional aberration. What's this country becoming? A bishop endorsing a constitutional aberration. So now they declare state of emergency. State of emergency now 3 for 5 naira.
Well, he believes that there is already war in Benue. That's what he says.
So declare state of emergency. So removing a fellow priest. And see, I will hold
He didn't say remove, declare. Not
if
remove.
You declare state of emergency, you are removing the governor now.
That didn't happen during Jonathan.
You are removing the governor with the President Tinubu assets.
Oh, well, that didn't happen during the Jonathan
with
era.
The president, I'm not saying Jonathan. Tinubu is not Jonathan. They are two different human beings.
Okay.
Even the spelling of their name is different. Jonathan, Tinubu is different. With the President Tinubu assets.
Leave me alone this morning.
My beauty. I'm serious.
Go ahead. The mic couldn't hold it. Go ahead. Don't worry. Go ahead.
With the President Tinubu has said, if he declares a state of emergency, it means he's removing the leader. What they are driving at is to remove the leader. I'm going to hold brief. See, you might say anything you want to say against me this morning. He's a member of the Catholic Church. That's what shocks me the most. I'm not saying he shouldn't be held accountable. But remember also, they were against him even dabbling into politics at first, in the very start. So is the solution now the state of emergency? Please, with due respect, Dr. Abati served in that Jonathan's government. The state of emergency they declared in Borno, did it solve all the insecurity problem? Are they not still bombing Borno till dates? And please, we have and that's why I asked the question of other state actors and militia leaders. It's a multifaceted angle of what is happening in Borno, in Benue State today. There's also a political dimension to it. Look at the squabble going on in the APC as we speak. The governor is dealing with a lot. I'm not saying he cannot do better. He can do a whole lot better. But declaring the state of emergency is not the solution. How can we fix it? Yesterday, Dr. Bauti was talking about how the military chief was in Maiduguri. Let us see how we can fight it with intelligence, with troops on ground, and most importantly, like you were saying, Vimbai, fixing the environmental degradation there. Because you see, we do not talk about the role climate change also plays in all of this. The fight and squabble for land resource, and also economic empowerment. The reason why you are having most of this strife and kidnapping and banditry and this insecurity is because there's little economic empowerment across board in all these areas. Nigerians are poor in a country where over 130 million lives on pittance per day. You will have all of this struggle. And that's the thing we should see. In the 80s, Oji, after the Metiseni riot, there was a report that was released about the fact that there's a lot of poverty and insecurity and squabble and strife. I'm talking about the 80s when dollar to naira, when it was still 1 naira to the dollar. That if we do not fix those problems, we'll constantly have the problems of insecurity we're having. And it's happening today. Let's call it spade a spade. Now, bishops should not be the ones fanning the ember of discord by calling for state of emergency now.
Okay,
Bishop Blackby, now.
Let me add a footnote to this. Now, when you talk about state of emergency, the operative rule is under Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution. It's the legality of it that is at issue. That Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution does not give the president of Nigeria the powers to abdicate the democratic structures in any particular state where a state of emergency is declared, when there is an apparent breakdown of law and order and a gazette approved by the National Assembly, has been declared and a proclamation is made. The problem with Rivers is that the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did something unconstitutional. This is the argument, by collapsing, removing, the governor, the State House of Assembly. Otherwise, the Constitution makes a provision under Section 305. Now, I do not agree with the charismatic Bishops' Conference saying that they want a state of emergency. We just spoke with Omale Ogamatu from Benue State, and he was saying that there is no complete breakdown of law and order in Benue State that will warrant anybody, asking for a state of emergency. He immediately dismissed that. And number three is the fact that these charismatic Catholic bishops, they were even complaining about the persecution of Christians in Nigeria. I think that that's the most substantive point. Is there a persecution of Nigerians, of Christians in Nigeria, particularly in the Middle Belt? President Tinubu has said again and again, in fact, when he had audience with the Pope, that his administration respects the rights of Christians of all faiths, and that his administration will do everything to defend the rights of persons to have the freedom of belief and the freedom of religion, as especially guaranteed under Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution.
All right.